And honestly, I wish LEGO would make more airplanes, but I kind of understand why they can't. Oh, Josh, you beautiful fool.
I agree with one of those things.
Oh, thank you.
Not that one.
Oh. Well then. Hello all, I'm Josh, this is Josh Builds Stuff, and today we are not talking about one specific LEGO set, rather we are talking about a bunch of LEGO sets, all of which revolve around one common theme, and that theme is flight, or aviation, or things that go up into the sky where the clouds live. Maybe we didn't need that final level of clarification. But if you are a frequent viewer of this channel, which I would recommend you to be, but maybe I'm personally a little biased on that fact, if you view this channel often, maybe you watched the recently released Amelia Earhart tribute set review, and in that video I said something along the lines of, LEGO does not make enough planes. And then within the next couple of weeks I found myself in possession of a whole bunch of different planes and other winged things that fly up in that area where the clouds live, like I said before. And so today I thought I would talk about some of these planes because some of these sets are brand new. Some of these sets are at least brand new to me, but I didn't think any one of these sets was worth making a video about by itself, but as a common theme, they all kind of come together. So you may be wondering, how did we get here? Well, personally, I wonder the same pretty often, and that's a question that my wife asks me very often. But not how did we get here as a channel and as a person, but how did we get here talking about planes? Well, this is where it all started. Obviously, we bought the Amelia Earhart set, spattered out a bunch of nonsense about not having enough planes, and then I immediately went out and bought a whole bunch of sets, all of which kind of revolve around airplanes. Well, first I went out and bought the all-new LEGO Technic race plane. This is a little set that I had my eyes on for quite a while, but the set came out earlier in the year. It's kind of small, and so I didn't think that buying or building this set kind of merited its own video, and so I was like, I'll just build this one for myself, because as a LEGO YouTuber and reviewer, it's important for me to sometimes just build LEGO because I want to, not because I want to show it to all of you. Don't get me wrong, I like showing LEGO to all of you, but sometimes I just gotta build for me, you know what I mean? And so I got this little Miami Dolphins colored airplane. I say that because I'm from South Florida and this plane is in the colors of the Miami Dolphins football team. Shout out to Dan Marino. He's a big fan. He watches a lot of these videos. So shout out to Dan, and you may have also noticed that this set does not have any of the stickers on it. And obviously this is a race plane, so it's supposed to be covered in a bunch of cool decals. But again, I was building this set just for myself. And if I were building sets only for myself, I would never put a sticker on a LEGO set. And so I left them off of this set because someday I have some big dreams of building my own LEGO MOCs, and maybe I'll use some of these Technic pieces, even though I know that will never happen. But I built this little LEGO Technic airplane, and it's fine, it's cool, it's got some basic Technic movements. It's a great introductory Technic set, I would call it, where you roll it forward and backwards, the propeller turns. That's about all that happens here. But even so, the set looks fine, both in color, both aesthetically, both mechanically. Everything melds together very well. So I built this little set and I was like, cool, another LEGO plane. I was just talking about LEGO planes, and then I was like, wait a minute, we just built the new LEGO Technic Rescue Hovercraft, and I believe that's one of the 2-in-1 Technic sets where it has an alternate build included, and that alternate build happens to be an airplane. And I was like, maybe I can also build that airplane. And so I grabbed that little Technic Hovercraft, which we had just built and reviewed. You can check out that full review video. I don't know, I'll put a link to it somewhere. You'll have to find it for yourself. So I grabbed that little hovercraft and I started to disassemble it because I had the intention of rebuilding it into the alternate build of the cool looking airplane. And I got about, I don't know, 10 to 20% through disassembling that LEGO set. And I've always known, I know that I really dislike disassembling LEGO sets, but I especially, apparently, I dislike disassembling Technic LEGO sets. Those things are built like brick houses, except instead of bricks, they are built using plastic and pins and axle pieces, and boy, those are a pain to take apart. So I got about 20% of the way through that disassembly process, and instead of finishing that disassembly, I got in my car, I drove to Target, and I bought myself a brand new Technic Hovercraft set, because I was like, it's only $30, it's a pretty affordable set, and I can afford to have 2 of that same LEGO set. And so I still have the majority of the Technic Hovercraft assembled in this little plastic baggie, but I also have all of the remnants of the pieces that aren't used in this airplane's alternate build. And so with a fresh hovercraft set on hand, I went to work building the airplane build of it. And honestly, it was an enjoyable build. I was surprised by a lot of elements of it. I did take all of the large orange pieces that had stickers on them off of the hovercraft so that I didn't have to put the stickers on the new orange pieces, so I have a freshly preserved set of the larger orange plate pieces for use, like I said, in future mocks that will never happen, but those are the same stickered pieces on this plane that I used on the hovercraft. Other than that though, it's a brand new build, and the build itself was very impressive and I enjoyed it a lot, and there's a lot of movable technical mechanical parts on this set, at least a lot more than I was originally expecting to see. So what have we got? If we move the whole plane forward and backwards, well, we've got some movement on the propellers. A lot in the same way of the little race plane where you roll it forward and backwards, the propeller spins on it. It's the same kind of mechanics going on here with the same kind of drivetrain mechanics going on to drive those propellers spinning, except in this case, it's two propellers instead of just the one. But LEGO didn't stop there, which they totally could have, because after all, this is an alternate build to an existing Technic set. But if you look at the top of the set, there is a little gear exposed on the top there, which is kind of common among a lot of Technic sets where you have some kind of steerability, but you can turn that little gear on top and it turns what I will call the rear rudders or the tail fins or the vertical stabilizers on this airplane, but it turns those little pieces, which would simulate a yaw motion or a side-to-side motion on an airplane. I'm not sure if yaw is exactly the right term, but it would turn the entire airplane from side to side while in the air. But again, LEGO did not stop there. If you look under that black plate piece, there is yet more functionality. There's another little gear under there which you can turn to the left or the right, and doing so would turn a couple of rudders on each of the wings and would make it so that the plane would simulate some not pitch, not yaw, but I think roll in this case. Correct me if you're like an aviation geek out there and you know all of the proper terms, which obviously I do not. But both of the rudders on the wings would change, and that would make it look like the plane would actually turn from side to side, or rather roll from side to side, I think we should say here. And you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of functionality, especially for an alternate build to a different LEGO Technic set. But there is one last little bit of nice functionality here, and that is that the landing gear on this little plane is actually retractable, which is saying something, because again, I don't think LEGO needed to include this alternate build at all, much less all of this functionality within this alternate build. But you could raise the landing gear up while you're flying and then lower it back down for a smooth landing. And overall, what I'm trying to say is that I like this alternate build a lot. And I'm not reviewing this one specific alternate build because, like I said, I didn't want to make a separate video for any one of these sets. Instead, I thought I would talk about all of these sets all at the same time. But if I were to recommend this set to other people, then yes, I would recommend this as an alternate build almost more than the hovercraft itself, because there's a lot of cool functionality here. And personally, I am just continuously amazed by LEGO's engineers' ingenuity in their ability to create something alternate and a whole LEGO set in and of itself using only the pieces that are contained within an entirely separate LEGO set. It's incredible to me, and hats off to them. Clearly, hats off, because I'm not wearing a hat in today's video. Okay, thank you for tolerating that tangent. So we got the Amelia Earhart tribute set. We said LEGO didn't make enough planes, and then we bought the race plane, which is a LEGO plane, and then we rebuilt the hovercraft into the alternate build of a very cool looking plane in and of itself. And then while we were at Target buying that LEGO hovercraft, at least the second copy that we own now, I saw another LEGO plane. I happened to be walking past the LEGO City sets. I'm not quite at the point where I buy every new LEGO City set, but I was walking down that aisle nonetheless, and I took a look and I was like, what is that set doing here? This set is simply called Mail Plane, and honestly, I saw it on the shelves and I was like, what year is that set from? You might have heard stories of people finding like a 10-year-old set on the shelves at Walmart that someone returned or whatever, and I was like, did I just happen across a very old set? And honestly, I went on Brickset and I looked up the number of this set and I was like, no, this set came out in 2020, and obviously I wasn't looking for sets that were about airplanes from recent years. But lo and behold, there this set was. It's only $10, it's only 74 pieces, and I was like, sure, I'll grab that set, at least for the idea of talking about a bunch of LEGO planes in a video, and here we are. Honestly though, seeing this set and subsequently building this set, it just brought back some weird wave of nostalgia. Maybe it's the fact that the studs are so exposed on this set, and it feels so much that new modern LEGO sets are so determined to be sleek and smooth and studless, so to say, but you don't see these exposed studs all over the outside of a set, at least in modern LEGO. And so building the set from start to finish felt like I was building a set from my childhood, which honestly, you really can't put a price tag on that kind of feeling. And I would especially rate that as being worth much more than the $10 that I spent on this little LEGO plane. We're delivering mail in the snow, in a plane, and that's pretty much the entire story. Also, this set has one propeller that moves entirely on its own when you happen to have just flicked it, and that brings back memories in and of itself, because I just remember as a kid having some kind of LEGO with some kind of propeller on it, and I'd be like, oh, I'm flying, but I always kind of wished that that propeller could spin on its own, and this is what I would do. I would look at it, and I would go, flick, and I would spin the propeller, and then I would fly it while the propeller was spinning. The propeller would stop spinning, and I would go, oh, time to restart, and I would flick it again, and the propeller would spin again, and I would fly for a couple seconds, and the propeller would stop, and I would flick it again, and the propeller would spin, and then it would stop on its own. Man, and I just did that with this set, and I was like, that's childhood. That's childhood that you only had to pay $10 to recreate. But my LEGO plane journey didn't stop there, or maybe it kind of did because none of these other sets are LEGO planes, but then I happened to be at Best Buy a couple weeks later, and I was looking at the LEGO section. Best Buy sometimes carries LEGO, and sometimes they're on sale, and that was the case today because I found this LEGO Harry Potter set, which I didn't own. It's like a Hungarian Horntail Tri-Wizard Tournament Challenge set. I think that set is originally $30, but it was like 12 bucks at that particular store, and I was like, cool, I'll get that, even if just for these cool big LEGO molded pieces and the custom molded Hungarian Horntail head. I was like, that's a cool little set. It comes with 4 little minifigures, none of which I have. It comes with a little Tri-Wizard Tournament tent, also which I don't have, but I was like, that also kind of is a subject of flight, and that's the reason why there's so many asterisks when I was talking about creatures and things with wings that I said earlier, and this dragon happens to have wings. And then the last little thing with little wings that I happen to have come across lately was this little Falcon minifigure. Again, if you're a frequenter of my videos, you might have watched my March 1st LEGO haul video where I got a whole bunch of new LEGO sets, and one of those was like a little, basically it's just like a minifigure pack that I got along with those other sets, and in that minifigure pack came with a little Falcon minifigure. You get a little Black Widow minifigure, a couple of little AIM agent minifigures. But I was like, oh, cool, LEGO Falcon. That's a new TV show that's coming out, and I'm really enjoying that TV show. Are you watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Sorry, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm really enjoying that show somehow, and this little Falcon figure has some little Falcon wings, and I was like, he is a thing with wings, and therefore he has a place in today's video. So all this to say that maybe I was a little too hasty in saying that LEGO doesn't make enough planes. Maybe it was just me who doesn't look hard enough for all of these cool LEGO planes that LEGO makes. And also this one dragon. But if you think about it, maybe dragons are the planes of the Harry Potter universe, or maybe planes are the planes of the Harry Potter universe. But in any case, he has wings, so he fits in with our collection that we're talking about today. All of that being said, this whole video has really just been a cleverly disguised excuse for me to say how excited I am for the all-new LEGO Space Shuttle set that's coming out April 1st, which I plan to buy on release day and hopefully review shortly after that. And after all, the Space Shuttle is maybe the ultimate thing with wings. Obviously, it's not a plane, but it goes one level past where the clouds live. It goes to where the stars live, to space. And for all of you extra perceptive viewers out there, you may have even noticed that I'm wearing my official Space Shuttle shirt. So let me know which of these LEGO planes or winged things is your favorite from our collection today, or let me know what plane you would love to see in LEGO form. I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously it was a little weird, it was a little abstract. We weren't talking about one LEGO set, but we ended up reviewing like 3 LEGO sets in one. So really you got a lot more bang for your buck than you usually would around here. But as always, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. among the clouds or the stars.